Check microphone, everything is fine. Perfect. We can start. Hello, guys. Welcome to our interview tips and tricks session. And today I will be trying to give you information related with interviews and as much as possible from my experiences that I have been like either myself facing during the interview time, or I was able to see from the example of the students that we were teaching previously, and they shared their experiences during the interview. I will try to give you those interview tips and tricks that it will be helpful for you when you join the interview. And so let me give you the first of all little bit description about and or explanation about myself. My name is David. I am the co-founder of Tectorial Academy and also giving some classes. I have been teaching Java previously many times, and I taught to different groups of students, I guess around 7 times, and then same thing for Selenium. And at the same time, I did the Salesforce project as well, and explained the Salesforce project to the students, like how they can use and or how they can explain during the interview time and whatever they did the Salesforce project. And today I divided our the interview process or interview section to the 3 parts, because when you graduate from school, right, so you will be facing these 3 steps during the interviews. That's why the first of all, I will be focusing on these 3 topics today. One of them is going to be the recruiter call, and how you can talk during this recruiter calls and how you can answer the questions, how they can help you for this interview process, and or like to be able to pass the recruiter call, to be able to land the job, what you need to do, and I will explain all of them to you guys. At the same time, the second topic that we are going to be discussing today, it will be soft skill. And third topic, it will be the technical interview. So the second one is this soft skill interview. And then third, the last one, it will be the technical. Step by step, we will go over this interview questions, okay? And for those, and I wanna mention the one thing, basically, if you have a question during this session, you will be able to see in your Zoom. So either I'm not sure where it is yours. Maybe it's in down of the Zoom page. Either you can ask your questions from the Q&A button. So there's a Q&A button. You can send your question from this Q&A button. Or you can use a chat to send some messages to me, and then I can try to answer the questions from that. Okay, so whatever I'm explaining, if you have any question related with those, please let me know, and I will try to answer your questions as well. Okay, and so we can also make it like engage with each other. And if you have any question related with this specific topic, the first thing, right, and we are going to be discussing today about the recruiter call. So the simple explanation of recruiter call, like when you finish the school, university, boot camp, it doesn't matter. And the first step, right, when you apply for the companies, the recruiter will call you. The recruiter sometimes call you directly from the company. Let's say you are working for Walgreens, or you applied for Walgreens, and Walgreens hiring some people directly for their some of the software project, correct? And in this case, when the recruiter calls you, and either it can be that these recruiters can be from the company itself, which we are calling the HR, right, human resource. This is also called recruiter. It's both of them are same thing. Human resources, right, HR, or if someone is calling from you from that, or sometimes there's a vendor company. It's basically third companies between you and the company itself. Let's say Walgreens. Let's say X company. So this X company is working for Walgreens, and then they are hiring. This X company is hiring for Walgreens, and then once they hire you, they will place you to one of the project in Walgreens. This is also another recruiter call that you might be getting and call from that, right? This is another thing. So soon I will go in deep and explain like what the kind of questions they might be asking and what you need to answer, how you need to answer those questions, right? And so this is the simple explanation of the recruiter calls. So the purpose of the recruiter is to find the person who is fitting for their position, right? So, and most of the time the recruiters, they are not technical person. And they like, because they, let's imagine that I am working for Walgreens. In Walgreens, there's a one HR, human resources, and looking for some software developer, looking for at the same time some test engineers, some maybe Salesforce engineers, DevOps engineers, cybersecurity engineers. Like we cannot expect from this HR, human resources, to understand all this deeply technical skills or knowledges of these positions, right? And that's why we are saying that the recruiters, most of the time, they do not have that much skills or technical skills and knowledges about the position. When the companies open the one position, what they do, the recruiters create a job description, right? And then they use LinkedIn or they use other platform like Dice, maybe Indeed, this kind of platforms. They use it to open the one position for the company. Once they open this position for the company, they put this job description. It's actually, we can maybe do later on another session to explain you how we can use this actually, the job description to prepare your resume. And the one thing is like, once they created this job description, they will be able to like find some candidates that match with their job description, right? What they are looking for. And to be able to understand what they are, what the company is looking for, and also the candidate looking for, so they do some recruiter calls, like the basically initial call with the candidates and who is applied for that position. And so what is from our perspective, what we should do until we come to this the recruiter call position or recruiter call step, what we should do. The first of all, guys, and I know, but maybe when you go to the market to be able to find a job, firstly, you are applying a lot of job positions, maybe every day, 10, 20, 50 job positions you are applying. It's not easy to keep all this, the basically applications in your mind or in your like one of the document or track from that document. However, when the recruiter calls you, so they're not going to ask you directly most of the time the questions, they will try to schedule with you the one interview, like one call, and then they will call you and say that, hey, are you available tomorrow or next day, or when is your availability to be able to meet and to, for this position? Until coming to that position, the interview, the recruiter call, so we just need to first of all read this job description, right? And then read job description and understand what they are looking for. When we understand what they are looking for, we can direct the conversation from that point, right? What they are looking for and supposed to match with what you are doing, right? And in this case, they will be able to help you to schedule one technical or soft skill interviews with the client, what they are working for, right? So because of that, and all about from this session, we are going to be learning overall how we can direct our conversation to understand what they are looking for. Because when we understand what exactly they are looking for, we can direct our sentences, words, and everything into that point. So then they will be able to hire us. And this is the first step, guys, for this recruiter call. Before even starting for this call, we should read the job description. This is important. I have been seeing a lot of times the recruiters are called, like when they call, they're asking, hey, why did you apply for this position, right? And what you are going to be telling, if you didn't search for a company, if you didn't search or take a look at their job description, you cannot simply explain yourself and then tell that like randomly what you are looking for from the company or why you apply for that company. The number one thing, you need to take a look at the job description. You need to search the company itself and then to understand what they are doing, what is their methodology, and what is their project or product that they are trying to sell or improve. Those are some of the important things that we should do before the recruiter call. The second thing, getting along with the recruiter, right? So when we, this is the thing I have been also seeing some of the students when they graduate and while they are talking with recruiter, they are like treating the recruiter like nothing, right? But the recruiters is basically one of the connection between us and the company, and between us, the manager that who is hiring. Because of that, all the time we need to be kind with the recruiter. When you talk, like just talk with your like your friends, right? Because if you the recruiter can maybe find the position for like whatever you applied, and or maybe if you get along with them, or if you are good with them, they can try to place you for another position as well. This is also I have been seen previously many times. One thing, let's say recruiter, which is vendor company is working for Chase Bank, maybe Bank of America, maybe Walgreens, maybe CVS, right? This is some of the companies I'm trying to give you an example. The vendor company is recruiter, like let's say place you to for Walgreens, but you are very good with this recruiter, and then this is your network, this is your connection, correct? So this recruiter and placed you one of the interview with Walgreens. Maybe you failed for Walgreens, but if you have a good connection with this recruiter, since they're also working for Chase Bank, they can also go and then schedule interview with you for Chase Bank as well. Because of that, like getting along with the recruiters are important during these interview sessions, right? And having a like basically one network and one friend and just talking regularly. It's not just only supposed to be the for position in the companies. You can just ask, okay, how are you today? What are you doing? Like, are you busy, or this kind of things, right? You can try to, at least you can try to get this conversation with them. And even though maybe they are busy and then they will not be like going with you to this conversation, but you can try. And at that time, they can understand, because they will like this kind of things, this kind of persons, and to be able to help them to find a job. Because do not forget, recruiter needs you guys. Recruiter needs someone who has this job description and then job skills and all the skills that they are looking for. And that's why if you are good with them, and then if you have a good resume and everything is fine, and treating well, so then they will be able to like help you to find a position, right? And I've seen like this example many times. And so the student basically going to one interview, failing from that interview, and then the recruiter, since they have a good relationship, like scheduling another interview with another company. Or even in same company, hey, okay, in Walgreens, there is this team is hiring. Yes, you failed. Maybe there's another team I can schedule interview with another team. Same company, right? And they can also do this one. Those are some important things. But at the end, they definitely look for someone who is able to pass the interview, who they are believing as well for this interview process, right? And also there's some other things, right? And what are you doing in your current position? This kind of question, what are you doing? Like, tell me about yourself, tell me about your project. Those are some of the important questions during this recruiter calls as well. So you need to like answer correctly. You need to be ready for those questions, right? What are you doing in your current position? What are you doing, like, or what did you do? And if you finished the course recently, you can just like, they will be asking, okay, what did you do in the course? What did you learn? And then you should be able to sell the questions to someone else, right? Those are some of the important thing. And like, what is your time frame to be able to start with this position? And so we need to give the reasonable time for them, and also for ourselves as well, right? And we usually say that, hey, within two weeks I can start. Like if someone, when I do the interview with the people, if someone is telling me that, hey, I can start tomorrow, and then I all the time think that, okay, this person is like desperate to looking for a job. And so definitely the first thing that you are going to be looking to do their technical skills, their soft skills as well. And do not give this basically image that you are desperate and then looking for this job. At least give them a reasonable time, like 1 week, 2 weeks, and whatever. The company is not looking for someone who will be just starting tomorrow or next day or like in 2 days. Mostly, right, I am talking about general examples. For sure, there will be some examples that they will let you start the next day, but generally, maybe 80% of the time, they are not gonna like let you start on the next day, because they have even like some background check time that they will be checking your background and criminal or other things, that everything they will be checking for your background check. And what type of compensation are you looking for? Compensation, maybe you you are if you are new on the interview process, compensation is like how much you are looking for, right? What is your salary expectation from the company? The compensation, it means that one, right? So this is, guys, a very important topic and very important information. And maybe the most of the time when people are graduates from the school or something, so what they do, they see that one person is getting the higher salary, right? Or let's say some person, let's give the real-time example. One person is getting $70 per hour, and then you see that you know that person, right? You know that person, and then that person is not that much strong in technical skill or maybe soft skills as well. But that person got $70 per hour. And then you are thinking that, hey, like, how come this person got $70 per hour? And then I should get 75 because I'm way better than that person. And I should, like, this is what I deserve, 75. If you start telling during the interview that, hey, I want to get like $75 per hour, what will happen? This recruiter will not schedule, because recruiter already finds someone who is getting $50 or $55 an hour. They will not schedule interview with you. And because of that, first of all, we're supposed to understand how much they what is their salary range for that position, right? How much they are willing to give you. So you need to, like, they are looking for to understand. And or you want to like see and then what they are willing to give you. And the first question when they ask you your compensation, do not ask that, okay, what is specifically your budget for this position? Do not ask it specifically. Just ask, what is your salary range for this position? Like, expect them, because if you tell them, if you're like, okay, what's your the budget for this position, they will try to avoid the sum, right? They will try to avoid the sum, giving the certain number to you, but they can give you a range. Hey, for this position, we for yearly salary, we are planning to give someone to our candidates between 100 to 120, between 80 to $100,000, right, a yearly, or hourly 50 to 60, 40 to 50, whatever, right? So those are going to be the range that you can ask to them. Do not ask them to, okay, what is exact? Okay, are you giving 50 or 55? No, do not say this one. 50 between, like, what is the range? Just ask the range. So if you ask this range, the salary range, and then they definitely willing to give you these examples. And right, this is one thing, ask their range. The second thing is do not go with high all the time with the salaries, right? Just go with average on the market. What's average? Or maybe a little bit average, less than average on the market. Why? Because our first purpose for this recruiter calls to schedule interview with the company. If you're not able to schedule interview with the company because just only salary that you expect from the company, and what will happen? Nothing, right? So you will not be able to land a job. And our first thing is to land a job, right? If you don't have it, but if you have already working in the company, if you want to increase your salary, so that's obvious that you want to increase your salary. You are looking for someone actually more. In this case, you can just directly tell them, hey, what you want. This is another thing. And another thing is basically, if let's say you are working for the company already and you are making $100,000, and when you ask the company, right, what is your budget for this position? If their budget between is like 90 to 100, and you are saying that in your current company you are making $100,000, right? In this case, the recruiter will think that, hey, like, this person making 100, our budget for this position is 100, maybe like maximum the 100. I can go maybe 105, but this person looking for maybe some jobs that like trying to jump from the one position to another position to increase the salary. In this case, they might be thinking that, hey, I want, like, okay, this person is looking for more, and if I offer that person like $100,000, it doesn't make sense for that person. And in this case, make sure that what is your expectation, and maybe if your expectation is 110, and it's a little bit what you are more than what you are looking for, what you are making currently in the company. And so if there is a range, right, 100, 110, 100, 120, so because you are making 100 now and you want to go to 120. In this case, if the company's budget is around 120, they will be willing to give because they know that you are looking for something more. This is what they are also offering to you. And also they know that you want to grow, right? And in your career, you want to learn new things and then you want to grow. This is also going to be another thing for the interview. And so, so that you need to mention. But when you get, right, in the beginning, we mentioned that, hey, I want to get like $50 an hour. It's a little bit maybe less than the average on the market. You tell this one during the interview. When you tell, so like you'll be able to schedule an interview. After you schedule an interview, you pass the interview, you get an offer. When you get an offer, still, guys, you have an opportunity to increase your salary. I did this one, and like I guess 4 years ago, when I go to the market, and I was like getting a lot of recruiter call, and then I scheduled many interviews. I didn't know that like which company I scheduled interview, which like at the company I am talking now, and then all those things I basically mix it, right? And I couldn't basically track all those information, and so then I basically attended the interviews, and there's a vendor company. I go to some of the company, and then what happened? I got an offer from the company. So they told me that, hey, like we are offering you $42 an hour. I said 42 because I already got another offer that I guess 2 days or 1 day before, and they were offering me to $65 an hour. I said, okay, 42, 65. Like it's obvious that I will not accept the new offer because it's way less. But I didn't actually like know how I accepted 42 in the beginning. But I understood, like, anyway, I said maybe one day when they told me that, okay, it's a $42, I accepted. Whatever, I got an offer from the company, even though I didn't know that, like, I accepted 42. I told them that, hey, look, I already got an offer from another company. And then this company is offering me $65 an hour, and you are offering me 42, and then I will not definitely cannot make it. If you make my salary and payment, and I look at your company as well, if you make my hourly payments like 65 and match the price, and I will accept your offer. They said, no, we cannot like basically match because it's a very big jam between 42 to 65. They told me that, hey, I can maybe convert you to full-time. If I convert you to full-time instead of the contract position, and will it be like how much you are expecting? And I didn't actually want to work for that company because other company was offering me to 2 days work from home. It was before the COVID, 2 days work from home, and it was a great opportunity for me. And then I told them, hey, look, and if you make this one is 115,000 a yearly, I will accept your offer. And they said, okay, let me think about that. Like, because they are converting, first of all, the other position 65 is offering me its contract position for 6 months. Another company is like also offered a contract position, but now they are offering me to convert to the full-time position. And then I asked them to like the 115 because I thought that they will not accept 115, and I will like in my mind I will delete the company. I will completely go to this other company. And so for this example, they actually turned me back. I think after 2 hours, and then they told me that, hey, we can make it 115. I said, okay, it's very great, but difficult for me to choose between the two companies. And so basically, I still go with the other 65, who's paying me since they are allowing me to work 2 days work from home. And it's like one of the clear example that even though you tell in the beginning, right, like less amount of money, and then you ask them to increase, I asked them to increase, they were able to increase my salary after getting an offer, right? No one, when you get an offer, you accept it like in the beginning, maybe $45 an hour, and they will, when you ask them to, hey, can you make it 55? Can you make it 60? They will not tell you this one, hey, like you ask 60 from us, so we reject your offer. No, they will not tell this kind of things, guys. So you will not lose anything if you ask from them to increase your salary. and after getting an offer, before signing. Even after signing, you can try to increase it as well. There's no problem for that. But initially, we recommend you to not basically try to increase in the beginning. And so we mentioned about the salary range. And the another thing for this recruiter call, right? So the one thing, the couple things actually that are, and I want to mention about that. The first thing, you need to ask the question during the interview. Ask, okay, what kind of project it is, and which company. What, like, if you don't know the company, which company, what kind of projects, how many people is in the project, how many people, like anything that it shows that you are interested with that position, you need to ask it during the interview, okay? And also, this recruiter calls, avoid only yes or no answers. Let's say they ask you, how many, like, do you know admin, Salesforce admin? Avoid to tell guys, and then I know, yes or no. Do you know admin? Yes. Do you know flow? Yes. Do you know array in Java? Yes. Like, no, avoid this kind of answers, guys. And then when they ask you, okay, do you know Java? You need to say that, hey, I know Java, definitely. I have been like using Java in my project, and I did a lot of implementation, right? So it's not supposed to be, guys, only yes or no answers during the interview. And then another thing, you need to be more energetic, right? Excited during the interview. I have been interviewing some of the people, like even from their voice, and then I can understand they're excited, right? It doesn't give me any energy when I speak with them. And obviously, we are looking for some teachers, right? And how can I, if they're not energetic, how can I basically hire them for this position? Because they're supposed to like give their energy to during the classes. And same thing. And if you are energetic, if you are like excited, and then during the interview, it will be help them a lot. Do not be, I mean, it doesn't matter whatever your mood, okay, before the interview. When you open that call, just be the more excited, right? You can maybe like right before that, you maybe argue with your wife and husband, or you argue with someone in the traffic, right? And it doesn't matter. What is your situation? What is your mood before the interview? When you open that call, guys, you're supposed to be excited, okay? And smiling, right? So smiling, you should change your mood all the time during the interviews. Show your interest with the position. Like if you ask more question, and it will be the one of the interests, right, for this position. Asking question like we tell all the time, for in all the interviews, all the places, asking question is #1 thing. And then I give this example also previously for our students as well. Like one of our students, once she got an offer from the company, she asked the question to the manager. She said that, what is the bad sign for new employees? Okay, so the manager said not asking question is the bad sign for new employees, right? That's the thing. So in all the places, all the if you are getting a classes, you need to ask the question because it shows that you're interested. During the recruiter calls, yes, you should ask the question. Once you start working in the company, you need to ask the question. Asking question are #1 rule in all the places, guys. And also, like to be able to show your interest, there is some simple question. What is the next step, right? After this recruiter call, what is the next step? What I supposed to expect from you guys, right? And then if you ask this question, you also show that you're interested. So you are interested with that position. You want to really work for them. And simple question, but it's a must thing that you need to ask because you are showing that you're interested. Second thing, maybe the recruiter told you that, hey, this is Friday, right? And I will be returning you on Monday. Just wait for Monday. Do not say that, hey, this person didn't return me on Monday. Do not wait, guys, in all the places while even working. Do not wait, answer from them if they're not basically returning you back on time. So you should go and then send an email, text messages, phone calls, whatever, right? You should continue to bother guys for the people if you want to get the answer. I like this kind of persons, right? And I like person who's basically continue to ask me. If you continue to ask that person, What is status? Did you schedule an interview with me? And then you said that you are gonna be like letting me know on Monday, but you didn't let me know right away, like in the morning or in the like lunchtime, whatever. So you should return them back if they are not returning you. Okay. Following up with the recruiters after the interviews, it is important. Email. If you have an email, just send an email. If you have a phone, just call them or text them, right? Those are some of the, again, the important for recruiter calls. And if you, I think this is the end of the session for recruiter guys. If you have any question from this part of the soft skill, this part of the recruiter call, so you can ask from the question and answer. You can write your questions, guys, and I will try to answer your question as much as possible. Okay, those are the parts that we need to be careful during the recruiter call. Now let's go to second part, another part, right? We have a soft skill, and the soft skill, I like it a lot, and I like also the person who has a good soft skill. And this is some of the important thing, right? In the soft skill, so we should be able to. This is part of the recruiter calls that we have, and like showing interest, being excited, getting along with people. All of them are part of the soft skill as well. And so at the same time, I want to like tell this. Maybe your personality is not, you are not the person that you are easily getting along with the people. You can easily make a joke, but during the interview, guys, it's all about selling ourselves. Like in all the part of our life, we are selling something, right? If I want to convince my my friend to be able to go some places, this is something that I should sell. Hey, let's go to this, or maybe like there are two options. We want to go to Starbucks or we want to go to Dunkin'. If I want to go to Dunkin', and I need to like basically sell that why I want to go to Dunkin', right? Hey, Dunkin' is start to make like new coffee. It's very good, and it's also cheaper than Starbucks, whatever, right? So you should sell it. It's the selling ourselves and selling the things that we want to do is all part of our life. We cannot simply be quiet and then just wait the people like, okay, they sell themselves, or we cannot all the time like to follow the people. We cannot be follower. We're supposed to be learner, guys, and then we should learn and then like evaluate these decisions, evaluate everything, then act with our decision. Okay, the first thing in soft skill, guys, the leadership skills, right? So during the interview that you maybe need to show your leadership skills, because the company is not only looking for someone who will be able to like come and then do their job only. They are not looking for that person, right? So you can show that, hey, if you need to like to build some Salesforce admin stuff or Salesforce development stuff, right? Maybe you want to create the automation in Salesforce development part. And hey, I am the person that I can lead. I can start like this process for you, right? I can guide you for the implementation steps. This can be one of the basically your leadership skills. Or you can tell that, hey, if you have a team that like who is not or who didn't do any automation, test automation, or like didn't build the framework from scratch for Selenium, Cucumber, right? For test engineers. So basically you can say that, hey, I can build it from scratch. I can guide your team, and then also I can do mentoring for your team. This mentoring, teaching, coaching, and guiding the people during these interviews, engaging with entire team, right? And showing those, not just only telling guys and telling, yes, hey, I can easily get along with the people. Or instead of that one, you should show that, hey, I can do mentoring. I did in my previous company, or I did mentoring in my classes for other people, and to show them like how to build the framework from scratch. And I can come and then do the same thing for you. This shows that your leadership skills, guys. Leadership, it doesn't mean that like only managing the team itself. Leadership it can be for all the parts, like in all the small parts as well. Like, hey, building something from beginning. This is the one leadership, right? Because you are leading which tools to select. You are leading for that one. Which topics to use it, right? Which the technical skills that you will be implementing. What you need to do. And all of them are leading in the team. So, and So when they ask you your leadership skills, then you don't need to say, hey, I didn't manage any team, I didn't like manage the people. You don't need to say this one, guys. You can just say that, hey, like, I did mentoring for the people, and then I told them like, okay, this is what tools that we're supposed to use. Even let's say deciding between Cucumber framework or Cypress framework, and choosing like this one is one of the leading, right? One of the leading thing in the companies. And communication, this is communication, right? It's all the part, it's important, right? We should show, right? The companies are looking for someone who can be friend with them, right? The team and manager or team members are looking for someone who can be, they can be friend. Let's imagine that during the interview time, and then I am trying, like the recruiter, or sorry, maybe the technical interview, during your technical interview, maybe during the soft skill interview, the person is asking the question, you are asking them to repeat the same question 10 times. Or like all the questions, like you are asking one more time, repeat. And that person is asking you, what is your compensation expectation, right? From us, you are saying that, okay, what's the question? Can you please repeat one more time? The person is repeating one more time. You're asking one more time to repeat, right? Or they're asking, what is the difference between array and array list? You are saying that, okay, can you please repeat the question one more time? Like if you keep continuing to tell them, hey, can you please repeat the question, what I will think, right? What I will think as a hiring person. I will say that like this person is not even understanding what kind of questions I'm asking. It's not understanding for the question. It's asking from me to repeat the same question 10 times, or like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Different questions 10 times you're asking me to repeat. And I will, like the first thing in my mind, I will think, like, how can I communicate when this person joined my company? How can I communicate with that person? Right? So there is no way I can communicate if you are continue to ask me my questions again and again. So this is from their side. We need to be definitely good listener. This is definitely something that is important, but also we should be the good clear talking person as well. We should talk clearly during the interviews where they can understand us, right? And like in part of this communication skills, you need to be having the eye contact, right, with the person, facial expressions, like if you didn't like something, like, okay, you can show that like you didn't like it, or if you like it, like you basically show that you like it. You smile during the interview all the time. All of them are part of the communication skills. Your body language, right? So your body language are important as well, like while talking with the people. And also we should be good storytellers, right? If you want to tell your story clearly and then like, or explain what you did, what you can, this is the three things, right? What we did, what we know, and then what we can do for you. What we did for the company, or in the project, in the team, or in the school, what we did. And then you should tell your story about that. What I know, right? What I know, what is my capabilities? This is another storytelling that you need to explain. Third thing is, guys, maybe this is one of the important part, what you can do for them. This is mostly what they're interested. It's actually what you did before. It also shows that what you can do for them, definitely. But if you explain what you can do for them, it will be very important point during the interviews. And the public speaking is very important for this communication, because during the interviews, sometimes there will be only one person, like one-on-one, so there will be the one interviewer, but some of them also there will be one person that you are speaking, and then there will be 4, 5 interviewers at the same time. You're supposed to speak in front of them. If the interview is via Zoom or something, maybe you will not feel that much pressure, but at least you're supposed to be talking in front of the people. If you want to improve that one, recording yourself, talking, explaining, doing mentorings, all of them are helpful. And those are another thing that you need to do. And also, your interpersonal skills are important as well for the soft skill, right? Listening well for the person, right? And you should show that, hey, you are listening, you are a soft person, you are easygoing person, and you need to show during the interview. If you cut the speech in the middle, and it will not show that like you are a good listener, right? Positive attitude all the time, whatever you have. If you can do this, the humor, it will be important part as well. And in also because if you make a joke, guys, they will remember that joke during the interview. So because of that, I like, maybe you can use the same humor in all the interviews, but do something in the beginning or at the end or in the middle, if you can do some jokes and then some explanations and whatever, right? To make them laugh. And also for the soft skill part, work ethic, right? Self-motivation. You need to show that, guys, the work ethic is very important, right? So you should show them that you took the responsibility while working for project or in school. You took the responsibility, and you can take this responsibility for this company as well. And this is part of the work ethic, and all the time it's supposed to be there, right? And while working in the companies, we should think, guys, all the time that how I can contribute to the company more. Because from one point, yes, you are contributing to the company. Maybe you are improving, you increase their speed of testing, right? They used to do it like before 9 hours, maybe you increase the speed for 3 hours, but you spend it maybe more time to be able to reduce this time frame. But believe me, to be able to do that one, you are contributing to company, you are contributing to yourself as well, because you are learning a lot of things in this process. And if you try to avoid all the time how to contribute to the company, you are avoiding, and then at the end, you will see that you didn't improve. Yes, maybe you earn some money, but what will happen after 5 years, maybe 3 years? You stay on the same level and all the time, and people goes ahead, people learn a lot of things. Those are the thing, the work ethic and then responsibilities that we're supposed to show during the interview. And then like you should show that like you took the responsibility you can take when you join to the company as well. And like meeting deadlines, right? Do not in any time, do not attend the interviews late. If you are attending late, just give them heads up in before, and give them like the text them, send an email, text them, call them before the interview that you are going to be late for the interview. So you should be like basically meet the deadlines, and attendance supposed to be on time, and you need to manage your time very well. And another thing is, the companies are not looking for only someone who is good on technical, right? So because this is the same thing for communication, we mentioned the team. So you do not forget that you are working with team members, guys. There are team members in the team. So like you will be working with the 5, 10, sometimes 15 people together. So you should be collaborate with them. You should be collaborating with them and cooperating to finish some jobs. And there is a pairing system in the companies, and there are a lot of meetings, daily meetings, weekly meetings, right? So those meetings, like you should attend and then collaborate and communicate with the people. And then we need to connect well with the members. You should all the time willing to help the people. And then if you are willing to help the people, they will definitely be willing to, and they're willing to at the same time help you as well. So all of them is basically together. And so the another part, what we have in here, the conflict, right? This is also an interview question for the soft skill. If you have a conflict with your team members, how do you solve this one? This is the common interview question in the soft skill part. And conflict management while working in the company is very important. You might be having, because so sometimes you are spending more time in the company than you are spending outside of the company, right? Or with your family. So because of that, conflict management, it is important. But there might be some issues, there might be some conflicts during the while working in the company. But the first thing, guys, we make sure that the conflict is not coming from you. Okay, so the simple explanation: do not cause any conflict while working in the company. So make sure that it is not coming from you. And if there is a conflict, right, working in the company, like, do not make it, right? Do not make it drama for the company. So it can be some issue that you might be solving like easily. Do not make it like, do not go and cry, or do not like basically go and complain everyone in your team, in your like manager level or whatever. So do not do that one if there is a conflict. Do not make it drama on top of this, the conflicts, right? And also, when you, this is, I guess, the important part for the conflict management, when you guys, when you have the conflict, avoid to have this solution, win and lose, right? Win and lose. Do not go and direct the conversational conflict into that point. Do not make that, hey, I want to win, and then like this person is loser, and then I'm gonna be winner for this conflict, right? So to be able to solve this, issue, look for helpful solution, right? Look for helpful solution. It can be the things, right? This, all of them, right? You need to mention during the interview. Look for helpful solution for this conflict, and then at the end, we need to be use a win and win philosophy, right? So both of them are winner at the end. So when we combine all those things, that you can direct your the question, okay, if you have any conflict with your team member, how do you solve it? This can be basically a simple answer for that. One thing, do not like, make sure that when you explain the conflict, make sure that you are not saying that the conflict is because of me. Do not mention in any places. And then in your solution, and make sure that both of them are winner, not one of them winner, another one is loser. Make sure that both of them are winner. And then put your all the effort while explaining that you were basically helpful to solve this issue, so helpful to solve the problem, okay? And it can be another thing. So let's come to the, I guess we have some limited time. Let's come to the last one, guys. And last topic, it will be the technical interviews, like how you need to answer the questions during your technical interviews. It will be important as well. So when we come to this technical interview, the one thing, and one thing that we cannot avoid, right? We cannot avoid to not answer this question. So we should be like answering the questions, but we don't need to finish the technical questions, definitely. But when it comes to the technical part, first thing, you should be ready for technical interviews, right? Answering some questions, answering the things, and then technical solutions, whatever. So you should be ready. But in my case, guys, let's say there are like, sometimes people are mixing technical and soft skill, right? Technical or the explanation questions. For me, technical question, it means that if they ask you, since we are talking for the coding or something, technical questions, it means that when they ask you the coding, right? And there's a one, hey, there is an array, in this array, there are duplicate elements in this array. How do you find only or like unique elements from this array? How do you find how many elements is repeated how many times? Something like that, right? So basically, this kind of questions are technical questions for me. And other than that, let's say, what is flow, right? What is master detail relationship in Salesforce? This is, what is master detail relationship is not technical question for me, because you are simply explaining what is master detail relationship. And for that, it's not different than the soft skill questions, right? So actually it's easier than for this kind of questions, like what is master detail relationship? What is lookup relationship, right? So this kind of questions, it's most of the time is easier than the soft skill question. Why? Because answers are certain. answer is not changing. What is master-detail relationship? If you go and ask the one person, it will be the same. If you go and ask another person, it will be the same. Or what is the difference between array and array list is not the technical question for me, because this answer for this question is the same. You just need to know what is the answer and just tell, tell what is that answer. But the answer between the array and array list is not changing, right? Because of that, I do not see this kind of question as a technical question. For me, technical question, as I mentioned, like, okay, when they ask you to coding, or when they ask you, hey, there's a one scenario, and then in this scenario, the basically user wants to store all the patient information into the system. But when for this patient information in Salesforce system, when I want to send an email, right, for this person every month, reminder email for their meeting, or like notifications, right, for their, or send a text message, right, for this patient for their appointment that they have with the hospital, it will be the automatic email, right? How do you do this one? It is technical question, because there might be the multiple ways to solve this one. You can create a flow. You can also send an email using the Apex classes, right? So you can do that one. You can also create the flow in admin part. So there might be the multiple answers, right, for this question. In this case, this kind of questions, it's technical, because at that time you need to evaluate your knowledge and then give some answer for them from the old evaluation. And also you need to know what is the differences, what will happen if you implement this one with Apex classes. You need to know what will happen if you implement with the admin parts in Salesforce. What will happen, you need to know the differences. But, and then with these differences, you should evaluate and explain during the interview. This is the technical part. But other than that, the technical questions can be like some coding part they're asking to you, and then it can be something that basically some other technical stuff that like whatever, right? So mostly technical. This kind of things, it can be the technical part. Let's say when they ask you the coding questions, and they ask you, okay, there is a one array, find me, give me the sum of these elements in array. It is integer array. Give me some of these elements from the array. So let's say this kind of technical questions, and most of the time the interviewer do not expect from you to solve this interview question. Okay, do not expect only to solve your interview questions. They expect from you to like while solving this question, they expect from you the explanation. Hey, you use loop. Why did you use loop? And you put if statement. Why did you put this if statement? What is the purpose of that one, right? Or you use for each loop instead of for loop. Why did you prefer this to for each? So basically you need to explain all those like the details that while implementing. If you explain that, it will be very great, right, for you. And another thing is, sometimes I see the people like during the interview, what they do, they just want to focus on the question. They try to solve it, but maybe they are trying to solve it in 5 minutes and 10 minutes. In this 5 and 10 minutes, they are not speaking anything nice, and nothing, like they're not telling anything. They are like creating one method, and they are not telling that why they created that method. They use static maybe keyword, and then they are not telling that why they use static keyword, and instead of creating non-static and static. So they are not explaining anything, right? And then so like this is kind of like weird during the interview, because until that point you speak all the time. It was active conversation with the people, technical people. It was active all until that point. But when it comes to this, doing the technical, and then you stop. It also shows, guys, another thing. As I mentioned, the company looking for someone who can fit with their team, who can help their conversation and find a solution, communicate. Sometimes we need to explain what we are doing as well. And because of that, for technical part, I definitely recommend you to be like more speaker, more talker and talkative during the technical part. If you put just, if you're not able to explain, you know the solution, right? Sometimes we like just try to memorize a solution, print out the Fibonacci numbers, right? So maybe you just remember that, or how do you reverse the string? So you just try to memorize it, the solution, but you don't know. You use for loop, but you don't know why you use that for loop. In this case, if you're just memorizing the solution, but you don't know why you use that one, and I recommend you to just read what you are doing. Just read, guys. Well, let's say reading, because it is way better than for me to just being a quiet is way better than for me just speaking and like reading what you are typing. Like you can say that, hey, public static void get Fibonacci numbers, create parentheses, I'm gonna put nothing, right? Or I want to put integer number 10. If I put 10, it will print first 10 Fibonacci numbers. So I'm gonna go to inside this method and then put the one for loop, and the for loop will start with this. This is basically all the explanation. You can just read what you are doing. If you don't know why you use for loop, and just read, okay, I'm gonna use for loop, integer I 0, I less than, those things, right? So you just need to read what you are doing. It will be way better for this interview part, okay, in technical interviews. However, I recommend, like, this is the part that you can, the technical part can help you to definitely pass the interviews. Soft skill, technical is, both of them are equal on same level, okay? Maybe soft skill is a little bit important than the technical, but technical and both of them are important, but maybe soft skill is a little bit important than the technical. Why? Because I see the people who is very good technical, like can do every the coding questions, but when it comes to the explanation, so they are not able to explain. And so in this case, it took a little bit more than the person who has a good soft skills, okay, for them to find a job. And why? Because if you are good on soft skill and explaining and selling about yourself, right? And as I mentioned, imagine that you have two product, right? Two product, and then one person who is able to sell the product very well, other one, even though he has a way quality product than other person, since that person is not able to sell, it doesn't make sense, because all about how you are selling, how we are convincing the other people to be able to buy this product from you. And interview is overall, guys, is selling about ourselves. We need to basically explain what we did, what we are doing, and then what we can do for them. This is part of the interview process, the selling overall, everything what we have, our knowledge, ourselves, our skills, and we are so when you have a product, so you are trying to sell this product. But in this kind of interviews, our product is ourselves, our knowledge, our technical skills, our soft skills, our whatever, like all the skills that we have, we are trying to sell overall all of them. Okay, for this technical part, guys, it requires definitely dedication. You need to study, you need to go and then try to solve the other type of question, interview questions, possible things. I understand it requires more effort, but definitely at the end of that one, when you improve your technical and soft skill, there is nothing that you will not be able to pass any interview, right? There is nothing that you will not be able to. And also during the interview part, when you go to the interviews, when maybe you graduate from school, right? You go to interview part, and I definitely recommend you guys stay avoid from the negative people. Avoid, like, if you are going to course, right? Whatever your teachers are telling to you, just listen them, because sometimes we evaluate or we review the student's resume, and then they come that, hey, look, I have one friend, and my friend is suggest me to put this to do my resume. I'm telling, like, okay, tell me how many your friend taught these skills, how many person, or your friend has like how many years of experience, and your friend attended how many interviews, right? And nothing. His or friend just attended maybe 10 interview, 20 interview, and just trying to, yes, it is good thing because they are trying to help you, they are trying to improve you. However, in this case, right, like the important part, just try to listen what your teachers are telling to you and go with that. Just try to avoid all those like the distractions around you. And this way, or negativity. Sometimes people comes to you during this interview process. Every day, same person is asking, okay, did you find a job? Next day, did you find a job? Did you find a job? Did you find a job? Right? So you don't want to see that person anymore because they keep continuing to like ask the same question. Okay, did you find a job? Did you find a job? Yes, I will tell you when I find a job to you, but why you are keep going to asking me the same questions? And also for all the negativities, I see a lot of times, guys, recently, hey, like, look at the market is going down. Hey, look at the companies is doing this one. Hey, look at is working for that company. It's not good. Like these kind of things, right? Do not listen to people in your around. Just focus your target, whatever you want to do. And then you will see a lot of people. And then I see now people are talking, hey, yes, this person is find a job because this person is the United States citizen. This person is basically land that position because that person knows some knowledge, right? So they had a previous some experiences. Like this, avoid this kind of things, right? Everyone has their own skill. Everyone has their advantages and disadvantages. Definitely, it's one of the things. But if you are good, definitely you'll be able to find a job. I tell this one all the time to students, right? They ask me like from my around, my friends and whatever, hey, how's the market now? And if I go and if I start, like, how's the market? I tell them all the time, if you are good, guys, if you are hot, market is hot for you all the time. This is, I guess, the important part. If you are ready for the market, there are a lot of positions. It doesn't matter you have a 1 year of experience or 3 years or no experience. If you are good, the opportunity will be coming to you, and then you will be able to place the job. But you just need to be ready for that interview. If you are ready, guys, there's nothing that you will like avoid or restrict you to passing this interview. You will be able to definitely pass that interview. Just be ready for this interview. Just to be ready for technical, soft skill, and then you will be able to definitely get the job, right? There are a lot of positions that is waiting for you. And good. Any question, guys? If you have a question, I can try to answer your questions. Another thing, right? Let's finish with this one. And then I am telling all the time this negativity during the interview time. You never know where it is coming from. The negativity, bad thoughts, bad ideas, you never know where it is coming from. Let's imagine from this perspective. And the example is, let's say, guys, I have a coffee, let's say my coffee. What will happen if someone drops a sugar into my coffee? What will happen if someone drops a sugar into my coffee? Nothing, right? Am I gonna be okay? Yes, I'm gonna be okay. So the second question, what will happen if someone drops a poison in my coffee? Am I gonna be okay? Most probably not, right? And then I might be not good or dead, right? At the end of that, if someone drops a poison into my coffee. So the question is, guys, what will happen if my worst enemy drops a poison? If my worst enemy drops a sugar into my coffee. My enemy is dropping sugar into my coffee. What will happen? Am I gonna be okay if that person drops a sugar into my coffee? Yes, I'm gonna be okay, correct? The other question is, what will happen, guys, if my best friend drops a poison into my coffee? What will happen if my best friend drops a poison into my coffee? Am I gonna be okay? No, I'm not gonna be okay, right? At the end of that. So the important part, guys, the life is between this sugar and poison. So we need to be the important lesson from that, right? We need to understand, watch your coffee, right? So you need to watch your coffee and then make sure that no one is dropping something into your coffee. Second thing is, guys, the example I give this example to you. Why? Because you never know good thoughts or bad thoughts where it is coming from you. Negativity can come from your best friend, but the motivation can come from the enemy. Just the example, right? So make sure that every day stand guard in your mind. Every day protect your mind and make sure that bad thoughts, negativities, unimportant information, and all those things, where it is coming from, just make sure and try to avoid, right? Those kind of things, and then this kind of thoughts and then information, and make sure that it's not coming, right? Make sure what you are putting into your mind and is good, right? What you are putting into your mind every day, it's good, and I'm not coming from a negative person. And then be motivated, like for help each other. That's like in here, right? Create a community, help each other. Good. I guess this is, guys, at the end of our session. And I hope it was helpful, guys. Thank you for attending. We will do every week the new session at the same time, at this time. Next week also, next Friday, we'll do another session, guys. And I know already the topic, and I will be announcing soon what kind of topics that we are going to be discussing in our next session. I hope it was helpful. Thank you, guys, for attending. Have a great day. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.